It is your boy, Black Ronin, back on at it again with another banger and fire video for y'all's out there today. There y'all. Welcome on back to the channel. But guys, for us racially ambiguous, light-skinned, and mulatto men, I gotta give us some pointers, about how we should move if we want to date black women, dark-skinned black women, and the things that we should look for. And to any dark-skinned black women that are watching, if you are a person who are interested and you're trying to get with a light-skinned counterpart, racially ambiguous man, this is what I think you need to know. And I feel like a lot of us light-skinned and mulatto men can all agree on these things that we look for in our type of partners if we do get a dark-skinned counterpart. And this is what we look for. So top 3 things, let's get on into it. And first thing I do want to say, I'm open to all races, by the way. I don't care what shade you are. Do you got a good heart? And, am I attracted to you? And do we just connect, emotionally, everything, So if you're on that type of time, hey, you're in there, no matter what race you are. But coming in at number 3, you got to be fit. So if you're a dark-skinned woman and you're not in the gym, nah, that's not going to work. Because I hit the gym, I'm not the most biggest shredded dude, I'm not the most biggest or shredded dude walking around, but you can look at me and be like, yeah, he's pretty fit, definitely takes care of himself physically. I still got a lot more work to do. I'm definitely not physically where I really want to be at in terms of my physical form, just the exterior. But, I do think that, you got to be fit 100%. If you want to be with me, at least. I can't speak for all other racially ambiguous, light-skinned mulatto men, but fitness is a big deal. If I'm fit, I gotta have my partner to be fit as well. So, and also even a big bonus, if you can throw down with vegan food, like vegan soul food, oh my goodness, man. Like if you good at that, oh man, like you definitely in there 100%. Now, I'm not a full-on vegan, but I love vegan food. So if you can really throw down with that, you can make some good tofu. Man, heck yeah. I love that, So you can throw down with that and you fit and you look good, you definitely in there. Now, the terms of the type of look that I personally prefer, and I think a lot of us light-skinned, racially ambiguous, mulatto-type men, we prefer in terms of darker-skinned women. These are the types that I would like. So if you're like, you don't have the most curves or nothing like that. You're kind of on the shorter side. I like this type of look right here. This woman right here. I like this. I mean, I really do love this look, especially if you're in the anime. So if you're walking around looking like this, hey, you definitely in there. So yeah, this is one of the looks. Now you're more fit. You got a little bit more curves on you. Definitely this type of look definitely this type of look as well. If you're a bit on the plus side, but you're but you're still fit, even though you're on the plus sides, this is definitely a good look as well. So if you're any of these 3, this relationship is it's automatically gonna work, no problem. So you're in there in terms of that so far. So now let's move on to another thing, guys. For number 2, dark-skinned woman, if you are confident in who you are, you're really happy with your skin, you love your melanin, that's really good, guys, because unfortunately in the melanated community, it's like the darker you are, it's like I just noticed how bad some people feel about that. And guys, that's a real thing, especially when it comes down to women. I really do think that that's honestly pretty sad. So in terms of confidence, and you hit the gym and you're very, very fit, you're already outbeating most women in general. So, your dating pool is going to open up a lot, because guys, I'm going to be real with you. Listen, I deal with a lot of different women, and I can tell you, the most beautiful woman that I met from, I would honestly say, let's see. I mean, primarily I do deal with a lot of white women, but not at the moment, because I where I live currently, there's not really many of them. And, it's mostly a lot of Mexicans out here, Hispanics. But I ain't gonna lie, man, whenever I deal with Hispanics, man, like really beautiful ones, like they got the worst habits, man. Like, and just be lazy. Like, I'm not trying to throw shade. I'm not trying to be stereotypical, but it's just like, man, like it's crazy like how lazy a lot of beautiful women are, So and they barely hit the gym like that. I'm looking at their habits. I'm just like, no, I would never accept this. Like that's crazy, I don't even want to smash this or lay with this. Like, no. White woman, it's a wild card, it just depends on where you're at. White women, they tend to be kind of active. It's just the only thing with them that's a drawback, cigarettes at times, certain substances, and then on top of that with them, alcohol, that's a big one with them at times. Yeah, and white girls, they can throw down some alcohol. I don't like guys, I barely ever drink. So for me, yeah, I don't mess around with drinking like that. Just ain't for me, like yeah, like I'll drink every blue moon, but every other weekend or every weekend, I can't do that. That's such a turnoff when I see that out of a woman, when she's doing that. So, oh yeah, like you gotta have good habits. And if I'm being real with you, like one thing with me, I always pay attention to how different groups of women treat me. And listen, I'm gonna be real with y'all, like dark skinned counterparts, like y'all dudes out there. A lot of y'all be gassing up these Latinas. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just enjoy the darker skinned counterpart more. I don't know. But like, listen, I still pull them regardless. But I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, that's I can't wait to get out of here. Like, but like that's really the last group of women that I really be checking for like that. Yeah, like I'll still go for Latinas, but I be seeing how they behave and how uppity they'll be at times, and then even crazier, I see they man. I'm like, bro, like you got the nerve to be this uppity, but your man is fat as fuck. Like, how is that? I already know. Yeah, okay, cool. You're getting smashed from from the man that you actually want behind closed doors, or your man is so weak he lets the man that you want come into relationship and you get both. I don't know, man, but Latinas be on some weird shit. So like I'm not really even like drawn to them like that, like even as a kid, like I don't know, I just never really, it's just an attitude, man. Again, it's not all of them. Like I said, I dealt with some cool ones over the years, but that's the last group I really deal with like that. I always shock a lot of people when I say that, but white women, Asian women, black women, yeah, y'all run rings around Latinas all day in my personal opinion. So that's just my opinion, but again, it just depends on where you're at. It's some places I go to, Latinas treat me pretty good. Where I'm at right now, it's a wild card. It's just like it's weird, but yeah, not for me. But so yeah, number 2, man, like yeah, if you are a darker skinned woman and you love your skin and you're confident with that, that's a really, really good thing, because I know if we ever decide to have children, and regardless how our child comes out, darker or lighter, I know that you're still going to love that child, pretty much unconditionally, like I feel like we're going to have, just a better connection with our children, because I don't want us to get into that type of relationship and have kids. And you're thinking because I'm lighter, that child is going to, be more lighter, because sometimes you just don't know how the genetics can work. That child might be just as dark as you at times, so you just don't fully know what to expect. So, I think that's very, very important, seeing how, just a woman that's confident with herself and looks at her skin and be like, oh yeah, I like what I got, So yeah, I got no problem, with darker skin, like I like it, I don't care what shade you are. Yes, I tend to gravitate to white women a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I'll be upfront about that. But I still leave the door open for all different groups. But there are groups, like I said, I'm more cautious with. Latinas, I'm the most cautious with. They tend to, give me the most hell. So I tend to not really mess with them like that. I just, yeah, like you have to really have strong choosing signals. You can't even be from like in this little area of Texas. Like I like to date them when they from out of town. It's certain ones I'll mess with. But yeah, that's how I move with certain groups. But I do got my guard up at all times. But yeah, so number 2, you're confident. That's fantastic. Now number 1, very, very important. If you're able to do this, you don't have to worry about me cheating. Like, I've never been a cheater whatsoever. Just so you know, because listen, I watched my like what like 'cause my dad, he had cheated on my mom, excuse me, my dad, he cheated on my mom, back when I was a teenager. And sorry, Dad, if you're watching the channel, didn't mean to rat you out like that, but because of that experience and seeing how dirty and just how like divided our family became, and how that we just separated, and just seeing what that does to a family, I can never do that to a woman, like. And then especially like the amount of work it takes just to find anybody of decent quality anyway, and looks good and with good characteristics, and God fearing as well. Like, I'm not cheating on that type of woman. And because like I already know at the end of the day, like how a woman operate. If I get into a relationship with an awesome woman that I got, and I'm very attracted to her, I already know I'm gonna get a bunch of attention from all these random women who wouldn't even give me the shot or time of day if I was single or just by myself walking. But as soon as I'm with a beautiful woman, now here comes everybody. And she ain't even gotta be all that attractive. She just gotta be decent looking. That's the crazy part. Here come all these tens and all that coming my way. Nah, because I already shot my shot with y'all, so, and y'all didn't come around before, so no. Now, if my girl, is she cool with like, let's say an open relationship at times, or she tell me straight up, she's like, hey, listen, hey, I know that you're a man, if you need to do your thing, it's not an issue, but I'm just letting you know up front. Okay, cool. But even then, like, I'm so cautious. Like, I really don't like giving my body away to a bunch of different women like that. Like, it's certain ones, like, I really do got to know you as a person. Unless you like top tier, like celebrity status, that's when, okay, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, it's certain women, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, but man, after seeing like, cause guys, like, I've been around a lot of beautiful women before in my life. And when you see their habits, man, and just how they live, and and the mental state that they be in at times, and yeah, like, it's like, that's such a turnoff, man. Just like, yeah, where they are mentally and spiritually, it's just horrible. It's like, yeah, they look decent, but like, I'm not saying, like, there aren't ones out there who, really move accordingly and, got a good head on their shoulders, like 100%. But, I gotta have a girl that really been through some stuff. Nothing horrific, but, I feel like that really molds a woman to become better. But at the same time, a woman that does, like, she respects her body as well. She doesn't just give it out to everybody. That's another plus as well, so, absolutely. And yeah, I think that that's very, very important. So yeah, like, if you're a woman that got my back, and you see the direction I'm going in life, and you see where I'm actually trying to build and take us, and you jump on that bandwagon, even though that I'm broke and I ain't got much money, you still got me, like, you're still there by my side. You don't have to worry about me cheating. If you're a dark-skinned black woman, or any woman for that matter, you don't have to worry about me cheating. You don't have to worry about me, just acting weird whenever we do get to a place of, higher status and more money. Like, I'm not going nowhere. That's just me. Now, like I said, if you're comfortable with a open, polygamous relationship, with me having, other women, at a certain time period or whatever, or you just know how men operate fully, and you say, hey, listen, as long as you play it safe, you use protection, you can, hey, do your thing. I know you're a man, like, okay, cool. Like, hey, mad respect to you. But at the same time, like, I really don't want to be out there just going through a bunch of women like that. Like, it's like, yeah, it's in our DNA to reproduce and everything, but I'm very, very particular at who I deal with. Not a lot of men are. A lot of men would just see something nice and they'll knock it down. I don't want to just do that, man, because I feel like, man, if that girl get pregnant or whatever the case may be, now here's a child coming into the play, and I'm sitting back like, dang, man, well, this woman, like, her spirit is just awful, like, characteristics, everything complete opposite, and that translates to the child. So it's like, yeah, like, I just really care about stuff like that, But at the same time, listen, I'm still a man. I'm not perfect whatsoever. And I admit, guys, listen, I used to be a male exotic dancer. Now, by the way, I never went savage or nothing like that with women like up in there. But yeah, like I was used to a lot of different types of women. Now, I wasn't knocking down these women or nothing like that, but like even then, like I still have very strong discipline. I still handle that in a very mature manner. Now, I may go back to it because I ain't gonna lie, I am moving. I may be moving back to the East Coast, unfortunately, just temporarily, but yeah, around there, yeah, it's job and stuff, job related things. So maybe back on the East Coast. So yeah, new job and everything may go decent. And at the same time, I may get out there and go do exotic dancing again. Um, but yeah, just to get some extra money, like listen, like I'm not. By the way, guys, I'm not advocating anybody to do whatever I do. Like listen, that's my decision. I'm not advocating for this. And you guys know the type of person I am. Like I'm a solid, real, down to earth type of person. So like, listen, I'm just trying to get some extra money. And cause guys, you see how the economy is. I'm 25. My life been a roller coaster, for a little minute, but hey, your boy's building out here, but I'm very, very transparent with people. So these things up front. It's not a surprise, So even I mentioned this down my videos way in the past. I talked about this stuff, but yeah, guys, if you're a dark-skinned woman out there and you and you're basically looking for one of us, and hey, if you're a light-skinned, mulatto, racially ambiguous dude, this is what you should look for in a dark-skinned counterpart. Yeah, so this is what I look for. I think a lot of us men can agree, but all the women out there, let me know what you guys think. It is your boy Black Ronin. Like and subscribe, share. Y'all take it easy.